Da 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 da. Hey everybody, it's me, TruePowerIsMine, and this is TPIM SR Live. Well, I tried calling Forerunner several times, couldn't go through. Don't know what the situation is. No, my phone's working just fine. Still expecting Jordan Maxwell this afternoon or evening, 8 p.m. tonight. But regardless, the show must carry on, y'all. There's been a bunch of crazy news headlines lately. Everything from people whipping children with extension cords in parking lots to people actually putting crystal meth in baking goods and giving it to coworkers. The only reason why I'm bringing up these obscure points of interest is that while all this is going down, there's so much happening overseas, in Hong Kong, in Eastern Europe, even in Israel itself. So let's get into the god-awful news. I'm not even going to bite on that one. Whistleblowers. Half a century ago in New York City, it was Serpico. Don't know who that was, but I'm trying to. I had so many questions for Forerunner today, and perhaps we can answer them. First question. In the end times, does Israel become the capital of the world? What's up, Brother Marty? Oh, and it caught that too. Hold on. Israel, also known as the State of Israel, is a country in Western. Okay. The rapture in the real world of Mike Pompeo. This is why evangelicals love Trump's Israel policy. History of Israel, timeline, and mission. Let's see this. This is something Gov. Okay. Let's get this over. Hopefully everybody can see this. I can scoot that back a little bit. Maybe make the font just a little bit smaller. That doesn't really help. Well, you might not be able to see it, but basically, the birthplace of the Jewish people is the land of Israel. There is a significant part of the nation's long history was enacted, of which the first 1,000 years are recorded in the Bible. Okay, now that sentence right there, the first 1,000 years of this nation was recorded in the Bible. Now, the question I have, the people in the Bible that was written that they're standing on, were they truly the forefathers of the Jews that we see occupying the land today? That's to say, are they the true genetic descendants of the nation of Israel? Because if not, then we have a fundamental problem here, folks. If the folks who are occupying Israel are not the genetic folks, they're converts or they're this or that, then basically what they are is Elizabeth Warren running into a reservation and seizing it. Yeah, I'm a Native American gal. There's its cultural, religious, and national identity was formed, and there its physical presence has been maintained through the centuries, even after the majority was forced into exile. During the many years of dispensation, the Jewish people never served nor forgot its bond to the land. With the establishment of the State of Israel in 1948, Jewish independence, lost 2,000 years earlier, was renewed. How? How was it really renewed if these aren't the people that are truly spoken of in the Bible? That'd be like me and Brother Judah and Brother Marty running to England talking about, we are the original Britons. We are the ones who built the Hadrian Wall. We want our land back. It wouldn't work. But for somehow, through the grace of supremacy, it's able to work for these people. Let me show you why. Let me show you why. Ancient Hebrew. Let's go to images. Wait, ancient Hebrew people. I bet you we're going to see something pretty odd. Now look at all these depictions. And I want you to look good and hard. All these little artist depictions of ancient Hebrews. Here's one of Jesus. No. All right. Apparently still got straight hair. How did Jesus and Hebrews become white? Well, now that's a very good question. Let's see. Real history. How did Jesus and the Hebrews become white? Well, I've been looking for this question for a long time. How did the Hebrews turn white? Of course, they didn't really, except in imagination. Sorry, y'all. But that imagination is getting people straight up killed, y'all. And then the lying histories of the albinoid peoples, who, for probable practical reasons, decided that Hebrews and the blacks who originally lived in and ruled over the country they took over as a result of the 30-year war on the continent and the British Civil War, of the 1600s. These were all, of course, actually race wars with religion as the focal point. These wars pitted Europeans, ancient blacks, and Catholic rulers against the rebellious albinos who had en masse been chased out of their homeland in Asia by the Mongols and into the black lands of Europe. Black Europe was never densely populated. So this massive influx upon millions of Asian albinos was sure to cause a seed change. Wow. In Europe, and of course it did, and it took over 2,000 years for it to happen. These images are so powerful. St. Catherine. Wow. Now that just could be death because these noses are still pointy. The lips are still thin. This is a good little research page. Hold on. I'm going to post it up in the chat room. So in other words, all the history's out there. All right. They know Nigerian parents in London with their third child. See, look at the noses. All right. And then up here, they're trying to pass this off. These noses don't match. That's why the Sphinx doesn't have the nose, by the way, because you look at this nose, you're like, oh, I've seen that before. The baby got their nose. Look at that little baby. Baby got the nose. Baby got full lips. Baby also has straight blonde hair and pale skin. As the Asian albinoids crossed into Eastern Europe, the Black Romans forced them to convert to Christianity, Catholicism. Later, one of the Turkish tribes, the Khazars, converted to Judaism. Christianity seems to serve them well until they have gathered enough manpower to take over. Then it became clear that, like every black civilization that came before, they needed their own religion for albinoids to rally around. Thus, the creation of Protestantism, a new religion for albinoids. Today, the only Protestant European countries are areas with significant Protestant populations are Germany, the home of the Black Holy Roman Empire, and Britain, home of the disposed Black House of Stuarts. Amongst albino Germany and albino Britain were the major players in the 1600s race wars. Now, we all know that 1600s is very important because that's when the concept of race was really pushed forward. Thus, these accusations in this article about the race wars, which is probably truly the facts. When we think about these issues, and you look at the people, I mean, this is some sort of, looks to be some sort of Russian aristocrat. Fine clothes. This was Peter the Great portrait. He almost has the nose, don't he? Who's this guy? Portrait of blah, 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 by anonymous artist. He's another Russian. He looked Russian. I'm not going to try to butcher his name. Now, this looks Sumerian. With that way out the way, let us now go back to see what Hebrews really look like. The earliest authentic pictures of real Hebrews that we have date back to before Christ. They are Assyrian reliefs showing Hebrews and others that they conquered in pictorial scenes detailing the battles fought with associated texts. These reliefs decorated Assyrian palaces and were no doubt used to gloat over their conquest of the Hebrews and others. Here we are using pictures of Assyrian king Salmaneser, Black Obulus, Syrian king, blah, 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 etc., etc. Well, let's get into the pictures. You can obviously see the nappy beard, nappy hair, dreaded out hair, still curly beard. It's like they're not getting the noses right, though, nor the forehead either. I'm an artist, so I look at these little details. Oh, Sister Barbara, welcome to the show. Peace and power to you. Now, let's look at these people. I don't understand why. I don't understand why dude gets blonde hair, but whatever. So I don't know who put this website here together, but they got a lot of information. Oh my God. But I'm just more interested in the pictures. I remember seeing that one. But see, this is what I'm talking about, though. At the end of this, what's up, Brother K Jr.? At the end of this, we're still dealing with lies in many ways. If we're dealing with people whose identity has been snatched up and repackaged, the snatching and the repackaging aspect of this game is the lie. And they're lying about this aspect, and what other, this is where the whole Pandora's box opens. You either got to be 100% truthful with religious things, or you're basically lying and manipulating people. You'll have some truths, and then you have some lies. You have some truths, and then you have some lies. And the only reason why this should be thoroughly relevant is because if an individual is coming back from the dead and they're coming back with power, then you should know who to look for. So at least you won't be deceived and follow a false prophet or a demon or whatever. Now, it's kind of weird that you're not supposed to be making pictures like this anyways. But when it comes to propaganda, all that dogma's out the window. Now, look at these gold pieces. Yes, curly hair, but that, the nose and the ears are what's giving it away. And look at this. I mean, these are coins that someone minted. This level of detail, even way back then. Because a lot of you guys, if you ever work with metal, you know how difficult. You're like, man, that looks so primitive. This little primitive depiction is very complex. And to mass produce that says something for the people of the time. I mean, look at the shape of the ingot. See how whatever was leaning more to the right, so the complete circle wasn't made. Look at that. This is absolutely amazing. But once again, now you guys can understand how long this power game has been around. I mean, I'm talking about as far as propaganda and manipulating the facts. Because it all goes back to this right here. You have enough money, you can buy your freedom. You have enough money, you can become a lord and have an estate. You have enough, and I'm not talking about now, I'm talking about 2, 3, 4,000 years ago. And all this wealth has really been passed down from generation to generation to generation. And unless there's something to stop it, I don't foresee it not being passed down yet again. I mean, whoever put this page together has so much doggone information. Oh my gosh. I mean, some of these pictures I remember from my survey of art class years and years and years and years ago. And I was fascinated because once you get past the Leonardo da Vinci's and all that style, and you start seeing, other artists who are famous in other countries. Wow. Then you start understanding what's really at stake here. Because all these, now you can tell those are black people. Now, all these pictures were drawn for a reason. Now, I don't know about this one. There's just something, I don't know. There's just something, I don't know. Some of these look sort of sketchy. Like someone just kind of made it. I mean, obviously someone made it, but like someone made it recently. And then now we're back to the typical Jesus people believe. There he is. There's old boy. Right there. That's your God. And look at that. It's not me. I'm not saying, I'm just reporting. That is who, in many of minds, right now as we talk, friends, right now, that is God. Now, when the sheriff comes at you and he looks like that, when the judge is sitting there at the trial looking like that, when the president's sitting up there looking like that, it puts something in a person's mind. If this cat's oppressing you, then that's God oppressing you. If this cat is keeping you redline, that's God keeping you redline. If this guy is destroying your family, that's God destroying your family. And who can stand against God? That's the psychological ramifications of this. Caesar Bonji. This is, yes, white Jesus. This is what it's all about. Is having that seared into your subconscious. This image seared into your subconscious. That's who died for your sins. You know, the sins that you were born into. That's who died for your sins. You know, the sins that you do in your day-to-day operations. Now, why is it so important for you to see this guy die for your sin, but this guy here who actually looks more like the real Jesus? No. But yet, this is acceptable. That's not. Hold on. Oh, that's not acceptable. But that is. Now you guys understand how Kanye West could get away with doing what he did? All right, let's scroll down. I'll tell you what, this site here has so much information. Now, if we look at this depiction, all right, right off the bat, there's your Messianic influence right there, the two towers, the two pillars. Jubal and the other one. All right. It's funny how some of these organizations that everyone thinks is all white, it's just like rap music. In about 40 years, you probably won't be able to play a rap song around black people. You'll be like, man, that's like country music nowadays. Get that shit out of here. Nobody wants to hear that old bullshit. You watch and mock my words. Before 2030, there's not going to be any relevant black rappers. I almost guarantee it. You know how I can say this? How many relevant black heavy metal bands were there in the 80s? How many relevant black rock and roll bands were there in the 80s? But if you look back in the 50s and 60s, you see there were quite a few black metal bands, well, not, they didn't call it heavy metal, but it was like a really heavy bluegrass / jazz or blues with rock and roll. But then, no one's going to tell you about stuff like that, about musical history and the musical lineage like that. You got to understand, this thing is about money, and it's about a business, and it's about power. And it's personal. It's personal to you, and it's personal to me, and it's personal to the person pressing the buttons. Let's continue. The Black Madonna. Look at that. Look at that ceiling. Now, once again, the nose is kind of off. The lips are kind of off. And funny, how come even this is not right? Because when these people were alive, they weren't kings and queens. They didn't have no crowns on their heads. Now, maybe spiritual crowns, but they did not have physical crowns. They didn't have all this fine linen. It's like when you look and start looking into this, you start seeing it's a distortion and perversion of the original concept. Jesus wasn't about no earthly crown, no fabulous ass building when people are out there shitting in the streets, homeless. He wasn't about his mom wearing a golden crown when you have women out there who has to be prostitutes just to get a handful of rice. Certainly wasn't about her holding a magical wand or a scepter. as a status symbol. See, the more you start looking at this thing, the more crazier it starts to become. Now, just because they're, well, I don't know what type of stone that is, some kind of stone, was painted black. Oh, look here, but okay. Now that nose is right. The lips are getting there. That nose is right. See, I go by the facial features. I go by the cheek structures. I go by the forehead structures and the eyes to a certain degree. But they're still quite literally making way for the game plan, because it's not about fine clothes and having gold crowns on Earth. It's really not. That was not the mission. Now that's the mission that maybe the people who put this shit together for propaganda purposes wanted to achieve. But that's not the spiritual mission that any of us should try to embark on. Here we go. This looks like almost an Asian chick. Now that one, the nose, the lips. No, but see, they got her looking like some sort of. They will not do the hair, because we all should know the hair is your tie to many things. They're like antennas, each hair follicle. But they would not do the hair, and they got her like an Aunt Jemima, pre-Aunt Jemima wardrobe. All right. This is 15th century Fort Chateau Jaune, France. I don't know. Once again, they're all about this damn scepter and the cross and the hearts. Wow. And thou shall not pray to graven images. Thou shall not pray to graven images. Looks like you're praying to a graven image to me, but I'm just a novice. Look at this. I remember seeing this Fresno. What? I think it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. All 12 apostles, which most people can only name but 3 of them: Peter, Paul, John, maybe Matthew, maybe James, 5 of them or so. What about Saul and the Black Pope? According to the Albinoids and their pronouncements from the Liber Pontificals, 3 popes: Saint Victor, Saint Mildred, and Saint Gelasius, were Africans. I ain't gonna see no. Hold on. Let's grab up one of these popes and see what they look like. Now, don't forget, they could be from North Africa, Kemet, and still be considered and visually look like they were straight off Sweden. Yeah. Like I said, hell, you could be a Greek born in Alexandria and you're African, but you're really Greek. Yeah, he looks pretty Greekish to me. Let's grab up another name. See, I don't know, whoever put this together might not have the benefit of the internet, so they thought they could slide this shit by and no one actually do the second step. Yeah, another typical. Yeah, like I said, these cats could have been born, sure enough, in Africa. But to say that they're Kemet in their DNA, well, we're all from Kemet, but just like animal form, some are more Kemetic than others. See what? Yeah, yeah. I don't think any of these glow in the darks will pass. Now, This one might. But, whoever did that was wrong. Look what they did to Obama over here. That's wrong. Photoshop. So why? Because the reason why I'm bringing this out is so that you're not shocked when big media finally brings it out. But they're not going to bring it out to liberate nobody. No, they're going to bring it out so the hardcore haters can be like, see, I told you Christianity wasn't about shit, blah, blah, blah. We're not going to worship no N-word, beep. And then they can go back to being the pagans they desire to be, or they desire for them to be. Because what civilized Europe and most of the Western world is the tenets of Christianity and the rejection of barbarism or being a barbarian. But over time, we would see that the barbarians infiltrated the church, took it over, and remolded it. Sheikh Jerome. I mean, they must have some good perms back in the day, boy. You can't even tell this brother even had a curl up in his head. And this is what I'm saying. This is the power of art. Now, through all this stuff, all these different, I can't read all this stuff. I mean, some of this seems like whoever put this site together just, you could tell they were consumed. They had the passion, but damn. Yeah, like I said, we can look at all these pictures from hundreds of years ago, and we can start seeing the fucking game plan. And the game plan is not just to basically better than you. No. The game plan is for you to be like they're better than me. They've been better than me forever. You know, they built the pyramids. They died for my sin. They offer a way for me to eat today. And all this is being done. Let me scroll this back over. All this is being done. And this depiction right here puts it perfectly. To keep you like this, in chain, in bondage, in confusion. What's up? Welcome to the show, American. This is what's always been about. This is why I tell you, if you're young and you're confused, you want to make some money, all you got to do is plug yourself into the system, find a new and better way of harming and oppressing people, and you will be as rich as you want to be. You'll write your own ticket. But you will be cursed of in the future. You will be spit upon in the future. Because what these people are working for and what they have planned for humanity collectively would make Hitler blush. It would make Mao Zedong blush. It will make Stalin blush. It will make Genghis Khan blush. It will make Julius Caesar's blush, because they were going to have the benefit of automated surveillance and automated death. I wish you guys would just hear me. But we're just going to keep on getting baffled and bewildered. What's up, Wes? Welcome to the show. We're going to keep on being beside ourselves, keep on getting confused with these distractions. Don't believe me? Look, here. They probably got a whole new set of distractions just waiting on us right over here. Let's see. Oh, here's a distraction right here. I'm going out to eat thinking you're living high on the hog. That little cook is putting fecal material in your salad. Chow on that, bud. Keep on running around here acting crazy and being crazy towards lower class people. That janitor's going to take that shitty mop water and pour it into your coffee machine. Sip on that. This is what people fail to realize. You could pretend to be something you're not. You could pretend to be the ambassador to the world. But don't forget, there are men and women out here who don't give a shit. Look at this picture. Spit on the burgers. Sneezing particles on the McNuggets. Oh, those fries. Pissy fingers, baby. All day long. Over here, the roast beef sandwich. A little booty spread on there. You see, as a person who worked in the food industry years and years ago, I've seen guys piss in pickle buckets. I've heard about guys whacking off in the mayonnaise. I've seen employees serve moldy biscuits. Oh, I've seen it all. I've seen a guy finger bang his old lady and then prepared hamburgers. Oh, he didn't use a glove either. Now, these are things I witnessed way back in the day. Just think what's going on nowadays. Some little nasty fucker with zits pops one of those white heads and smears that shit up onto that bun, covers it over with a little mayonnaise or ketchup or mustard. And you take your little plate and sit down with your little bogus ass friends and slop that shit right down your gullet. And then you wonder why you get sick a few days later. You want to keep playing games. You want to think that you deserve to be waited on hand and foot. You're going to be waited on and straight up served boogers and fucking cum. That's what they're going to serve you up. But keep on thinking it's a joke. Keep on thinking these are society's losers. You know, I've seen so many waitresses and waiters. Now, it could be accidental, but they're getting drinks and they think no one's watching. I see them sneeze. No hand over. Head chew. All that particles, this misting those drinks. I very seldom eat out. Just because I know what goes on behind the kitchen stays up in the kitchen. I mean, I got more horror stories from the fast food front lines. I've seen a lot of foolishness. And you may be like, well, True, how come you didn't speak up and tell a fucking supervisor what was going on? Huh? How come you wasn't a good worker? At $3.25 back in the day, I didn't get paid to give a fuck. Point blank. I'm sorry. You know, I made my own food personally. You know, back then I used to make a cheeseburger. It went one regular patty, a quarter pounder patty, and then another regular patty with cheese in between, topped off with some grilled onions that I would grill up on the grill myself, and then topped off with some, I wouldn't fuck with the pickles, but some of the Big Mac sauce in the little like tube. Hard to tamper with that. Everything was hot and fresh. And don't think for 1 second, that you guys haven't been, if you eat out quite frequently to fast food joints, I'm not going to name no names, but you know who they are. You probably eaten a burger off the floor. You probably had someone who just went to the bathroom and they didn't wash their hands, putting together burgers without gloves. I'm sure it's happened to you. And you ate that shit and got sick and couldn't explain how you got sick. You put this stuff in your body, but yet you still choose somebody making minimum fucking wage to do it for you. And you think that they're not going to do nothing to it if they're having a shitty day. They're about ready to get evicted. And you come in there with some sort of attitude. And they're like, okay, yeah, I was a boss. We'll get that for you, boss. Go ahead and sit down, boss man. You sit down there with all your arrogance, all your rhythm and roll. And their buddies back there whacking off, spewing out loogies, doing nose splats on it. A nose splat is when you take one finger and you put it against one nostril, and with the free nostril, you take a bun, a patty, a piece of lettuce, any food product, and you blow extremely hard until a mucus ball comes out and splatters that bitch. And then you prepare it and you send it on down the line. Oh, but you're like, well, true, I'm so nice to, they don't give a fuck. Make minimum wage, bitch. You can't be nice to a fucking wage slave. What the fuck? Everybody has bad days, y'all. Everybody. And to what degree a position of power or authority you are in society is to what degree you lash out. You see, if you're a rich CEO of a company, you're having a bad day, what you're going to do is call up a prostitute. You're probably going to beat the shit out of the prostitute while you're snorting cocaine off her back, having crazy sex. Now, if you're a janitor having a bad day, you probably can't put together enough change for a prostitute like that. So what you're going to probably do is start rooting through fucking drawers. All change is yours. All money is yours. I've known janitors that come up, man. Chick forget her purse up in the office. Boy, that motherfucker ransacked that bitch. Because who's going to know who took it? And the motherfucker threw the purse away. Now, that's a story I heard on the job. I didn't see that because that's a true crime. But that's what I heard. I heard about janitors straight up jacking off and squirting on people's keyboards or in their coffee mugs and then wiping that clean or leveling it out to where it dries up. These people don't see it. Most people at the office, you see them. You know who I'm talking about, Leonard. You see them at the office. They'll grab that coffee mug. Don't even wash that bitch out. Just and start drinking that shit on down. This is what I'm talking about, Brother Marty. This is what I'm saying. Until we fix the root of this economic problem, you are all at fucking risk. I'm trying to make this shit personal so you'll get with it. So this isn't some crazy, drawn out bullshit about somebody in some sort of ivory tower somewhere with banking fucking charts fucking up your world. I'm not, even though that's part of it, I don't want to go there because most people are disassociated with that. Well, I don't fuck around with ivory tower. I don't give a fuck. My 401k is cool. But motherfuckers, y'all eat burgers and you motherfuckers drink coffee. And you're letting that shit sit around and you're letting these minimum wage slaves tend to it. And you're wondering why your ass is getting fucking sick. Don't get me started on the gas stations, y'all. Oh, I know a lot of gas station jockeys. This one little girl bragged about how she hasn't ever cleaned the soda machine on her night shift duties. Now, me working in the food industries, I know how a drink fountain machine should operate. All those nozzles screw apart. And you're supposed to take a rag and go up in there and clean that all that syrup shit out, or else it's a great environment for mold. Great environment for all kinds of little critters. The spirits tell me to, as a check this out, y'all. Back in the old days, for those who are old enough, and I hope you remember, the drinking fountains, the nozzles used to be clear. You used to be able to see the soda coming out before it actually exit the machine, right? Check out the nozzles now. They're all either black or dark gray. They colored them in because they know motherfuckers ain't cleaning shit out. If most people saw the mold and bullshit buildup in that motherfucking soda drink, they wouldn't fuck around with those machines, and Coca-Cola and Pepsi would lose tons and tons of valuable dollars. Not to mention the makers of glyphosate and metformin. They'll be missing out on new patients because we all should know high fructose corn syrup is a nightmare to your system. It's hard to metabolize, and it gets in places and cause things that really people shouldn't have to be dealing with. When we start treating people with universal dignity, when we get away from this notion that people don't want to work or will not work, and get to the notion, let's make a way to where people can work and do the job that they want to do. You see, if you had a person up there in the fast food joint making the burgers because they sincerely want to be there, not because they have to be there, but because they sincerely want to be there, you will have a better product. And you'll be eating less mess. I hope I'm touching you guys today psychologically. I truly do. I hope the next time you go down there to get that damn burger or those GMO fries, you don't go through drive-through. You get your ass out of that car. You walk into that place and you get the vibe of the workers. You see if they're joking and playing and kidding and having fun. Or you see if there are a pack of Oompa Loompas up in there. Oh, we go. We go. Biggers and come. Oh, we go. Because that's what you're going to be getting with that crew. So keep on acting like you're somebody special. You know, a lot of people remind me back in the day, you see, we used to have this thing called a pager. A pager was meant for lawyers and doctors, you know, really important people. But then on suddenly the peasants started getting pagers and getting pages, you know, hey, this is your mom or dad, pick up some toilet paper on the way home and all this crazy shit. And the peasants start realizing, hey, if I have a pager, then I look like I'm somebody special. Well, that's morphed into smartphones. As long as I have a smartphone out here and I'm in public, I look like I'm someone important. They don't know who I am. Fool! You're faking it until you make it, man. Unless you can pick up that doggone telephone that you got in your pocket right now and hit a couple buttons and actually what you do has an effect on the stock market, whether millions of people are going to make money or millions of people are going to lose money, you ain't about shit. I'm sorry. I know your mama loves you, and I love you as well. But over in the reality, in when you're adding up the value of other human beings and net worth, you ain't shit. You can be a mayor of the damn town. You can't pick up that phone and make stock moves. You ain't shit. The world will continue quite fine with or without you. So that's why we had to quit looking at ourselves in criteria that we would draw those conclusions up to. See, if we use a different criteria, then we can start looking at each other as valuable without measure. There's no amount of money that I can place on Brother Leonard. There's no amount of money I can place on Brown. Because I'm fundamentally looking at them in a different light than just, well, how much over their career life do we expect to see in net losses due to have to pay them money? Because that's what businesses are looking at their damn employees. You're not a benefit to the fucking company. You're a fucking asset liability. You're an asset only if you're making money every hour you're there. And out of the money that you're generating, for the corporation or company, we will give you a little piece of. But if you're not generating 5, 10, 20 times what we're going to pay you, then you're a fucking liability and you can't be around here because it's not economically viable. The way all businesses works is the business owner kicks up the money to kick it off, but the business eventually, or hopefully immediately, starts producing enough money that it is churning a profit. You see, where a lot of people messed up, there's a lot of highly educated folks out there. I mean, extremely educated. They have masters, they have doctorals, they have bachelors, even associates. But the problem is they have it in the wrong field. You know, basket weaving's great if there's a market for baskets. And a lot of touchy-feeling, and it really sounds good to be, I want to be a psychiatrist. Well, how many rich motherfuckers do you know that's going to dole out that kind of money for you to pay back your student fucking loans? Because Poo-Poo and Ray, even though they're fucked up psychologically, don't have the money to pay you so that you can continue to operate. Everybody always wants to, I want to get to know how people think. Why? I'm going to tell you, once you really figure out how people really truly think and operate, you're going to be sadly disappointed. Because it's quite basic. People are pain avoiding and pleasure seeking. Those are the normals. But then you also have your different little subgroups of that. There are some people who don't care either way. There's some people who actually seek pain and avoid pleasure. But the vast majority of human beings are pleasure seeking. They love to have a good fucking time. And they're pain avoiding. They hate to be in a state of pain. We should start looking at all issues like that. Is this issue going to bring me pleasure, or is this issue going to bring me pain? On a personal level, forget the group consciousness for a second. This is a personal journey. Your life is a personal journey. Your death is a personal journey. There are still a lot of collective elements to the game. Okay? Now look at this. Look at this advertisement. Non-GMO organic eggs. I mean, how could they really be GMO eggs unless the chicken? Which came first, GMO or the chicken? This is the world we're living in. Now, sexercise. Research reveals how many calories different positions burn. Now, that's pretty damn sad. If you're fat as fuck and you need to use sex as a form of exercise, that's pretty damn sad. Oh, we gotta go missionary. I'm gonna eat this tub of lard. Or I guess that'd be doggy style. I can eat these French fries while I'm burning calories. And if you're just sitting there, I hate to tell you this, and this goes for the fellers too. If you're just sitting there not doing anything, you're not burning no calories. You actually have to be moving. So seriously, before you start having sex, you might want to, go on a normal diet. I don't know. I'm just saying. 70% of young home buyers regret purchase. Yes. You know the reason why? Because most of these, excuse my French, young people don't have a clue. Oh, this house looks great. They don't drive by that motherfucker at night. They don't drive by there at 3 o'clock in the morning and see the little tweaker out there in the garage. You know he's working on the car, right? They don't drive by there at night. See the little heroin junkie sitting there on the sidewalk, rocking back and forth slowly and methodically before they pass out. Or they don't check out and understand that their neighbors are just fucking crazy as fuck. and then they regret paying, I don't know, $1,200, $1,400, $2,000 a month for a house payment, including taxes and insurance, because they're caught up in the dream. They're caught up in the dream. See, one should measure one's success by what they sincerely believe they achieved. Some people know that they're not about shit, and they know that their success firmly relied on someone giving them the lucky break or the mentorship or whatever resources they needed to get to where they're at. That's why you see so many so-called successful, wealthy celebrities who are sad as fuck on the inside, because they know that anybody could be them. Anybody, quite literally, could have been them at the right place at the right time. The people that put them on could have put that other person on. And it affects with a person's psyche, especially for everybody that you see. You're such a great person. I love you. Oh, I love you. Deep down, you're like, motherfucker, you don't love me. You love the motherfucker who wrote the script. You love the motherfucker who put the makeup on me. You love the motherfucker who was the tailor that made all my outfits look good. That's what you're loving. And most people who are intelligent understand this. It's only the fool that are giving out these adulations doesn't realize why their adulations aren't being accepted in the manner that they think it should be, because they are idolizing or they are projecting something to something that knows it's not real. They know that they're not the actor that they portray. They know they're not the TV personality they portray. And they know that you're manipulating, you're a fool, and you believe a lie. And most people have disdain for people who believe lies. Once the lie is out and open, let's use this as an example. Let's say that we had a brother and sister who was a hardcore Catholic, and they loved the Catholic Friar Dominic. Friar Dominic could do no wrong, but we find out empirical evidence Friar Dominic's been butt fucking kids. Now, if that person doesn't change their behavior towards Father Dominic, we would look at that person like a fucking fool. No, I still trust Father Dominic. I'm taking my son for a sleepover at his house tonight. Yep. You'd be like, what the fuck's wrong with this person? That's what many people are asking of the masses of people. What's wrong with you guys? All the corruption that's been pointed out, fuck. Reporters have died trying to get this information out. People have literally got blown up, disappeared, thrown into the ocean because they came across some wrong information and they shared it. But it's sort of like Father Dominic. Nope, you guys just ain't gonna quit him. Nope, Father Dominic, we don't care. Even though there's a video of him sodomizing the child, we don't care. Even though he even testified that he did all this, we don't care. He's still the shit. Father Dominic's cool. And when he gets out of prison, I'm gonna take my grandson so he can spend the night with him. You see? This is what I'm talking about. And that will never change until you change the way you believe and you think. That's what this show's all about. It's changing the way you think so you, my friend, can change the world. This has been TPIM SR Live. Today's date, September 4th, 2019, the year of our Lord. Before I go, I hope you all join me at 8 p.m. today. Jordan Maxwell will be on the show, and we'll be talking about a whole gambit of things. I have a bunch of questions that I will ask him. These questions came in by the email, TruePowerIsMine@gmail.com. So I'm going to ask tons of questions. But as always, y'all, live your life with integrity, without hate, envy, or greed. Brothers and sisters, I ask you, please, let's be kinder to each other. Peace, power, unity, respect, dignity, and liberation. Victory is ours. Brother David, welcome to the show. I'm out.